So, this isn't really one of those video essays or video journals that people usually do so much as me just expressing some emotions I got from watching a significant piece of media from my childhood come to a conclusion. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So after months of waiting, I finally got to watch the dub of Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kizuna. I think it's really a good send-off for these characters, despite there being a reboot airing in Japan at the same time of its stateside release. A reboot that I also quite enjoy. That said, I kinda wanted to post this video because it's October, and what's spookier than considering the impending and non-stop cycle of time marching forward regardless of your efforts to slow down and actually try and appreciate things. So, my biggest takeaway thematically from this movie is all about the concept of maturity. When we see the characters, they're all about college age, 11 years after the original Digimon Adventure show, and a far departure from that mentality as well. They've grown apart from their human friends, but they still may meet up for a drink or to fight a digital monster that is crashing into some local business. The villain of this movie is hellbent on locking Digidestined into their past, because with growing up, inevitably comes loss. Sure, there's the loss of interest and the loss of innocence, but more significantly is the loss or deterioration of significant relationships. This has to be one of the most relatable topics in a day and age where communication is more accessible than it has ever been. And it still inevitably occurs whether we like it or not. While watching the movie, one of many moments that took me back was remembering what it was like to be a kid. To have the safety net of youth and naivete and friends. Specifically when I was in elementary school watching the original Digimon on Fox Kids, then ABC Family, and then Jetix. I remember my friends and I in Boy Scouts pretending to be our own type of Digidestined. We made our own Digimon. We even invented new tiers of Digimon like Ultra Mega and Sovereign, which, looking back at it, are very badass names. They're really cool. And we'd listen to the soundtrack from the first movie because it was a banger, and we'd play the games together like Digimon World 4 and just have our own adventures pretending we'd be on missions. And hell, one of my best friends, a guy who was like a brother to me, and without him I wouldn't have gotten past some very significant obstacles in life. He was like the mat to my tie. And as we've grown older, we've kind of grown apart. Unfortunately, I've lost contact with him around the time we entered college. We went to different schools and we met different people. But I'm actually friends with his dad on Facebook though, so I could probably just ask him, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Relationships evolve and change over time, and I don't think this movie is saying that the things you cherish as a child inevitably die or disappear, but there is the potential that on your path to adulthood, some relationships will be lost along the way, no matter how much you hold on to and how much you cherish them. Growing up is really confusing and hard, and I have loans and bills, and no one gives you a comprehensive guide on how to be you, or even an approximation of like the best you. I completely understand where the Digidestined are coming from in this movie. Some people are like Joe. They are laser focused and know exactly what they want to do and how they want to get there and what needs to be given up and what they need to do. Some people are like Matt, where they think life is going one way, and then one day you're a musician, and the next day you're going to grad school, and the next day you want to be an astronaut, and then life is just weird. And even Ty, you may have plans to play soccer professionally, and then now you're finishing up college trying to figure out what you're going to write your thesis on. No one has a grasp on these things, and it's okay. And when you lose these significant relationships in the process, that's also okay. And it sucks. And it hurts. And you grieve. But you never stop growing up. So it kind of ends up to you what you do with that time. Kind of like the timer that they have in the movie. At the time of me writing this, I'm about a week and some change out from me turning 25. Everyone's been telling me I'm going to get a quarter-life crisis soon, and I don't have any set plans to celebrate my birthday. The outside world in America is still kind of in a state of disarray, and I also signed up to try and work 3 separate jobs in my own career, and do YouTube, and a podcast, and trying to have a social life, all at the same time. In 2013, I was going to college to do forensics. August of 2016, I was starting grad school for mental health. December 6th, I graduated with my master's. And then a week later, a virus began to spread that, unknown to all of us, will now be a chapter in a future history book. So, you really have no idea what the future is going to throw at you. Ty didn't know. Matt didn't know. Sora didn't know. No one ever really knows. But you just cherish the moments you have in the present and ask yourself, what will you do tomorrow?
That's a good question. I guess no one knows what tomorrow may bring.
Thanks for watching. Be great to one another.